Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Zoe here with Cairo Productions, and today I'm going to be talking about my labor and delivery story. I'm not going to lie, I do have some notes here in front of me because I don't have everything memorized, and I've tried recording this before, and I have stuttered too much and said a lot. So originally my due date was December 31st, but on December 7th, I went in for my 36-week prenatal visit with my baby daddy Dalton and my friend Jennifer. While checking everything out, they discovered I still had high blood pressure, and the doctor told me she was sending me to labor and delivery, and they were going to test for preeclampsia. I had been tested for this before, and it always came back negative, but she wanted to test again. She said if the lab results came back negative, I would be induced the upcoming week. But if they came back positive, I was going to be induced that day. I was so scared and almost in tears, honestly. I didn't know if I should be happy or scared, but I didn't even have my hospital bag packed yet, and my son wouldn't be full term if results came back positive. But we went ahead and we walked up to labor and delivery, and we did blood tests and waited for a couple of hours. My results came back negative, thankfully, but I was still scheduled for an induction, but it was at 5:30 a.m. on December 12th instead. As soon as I left, we stopped by to get my bags from a friend's house, and Dalton and I went back to our house. We finished our room and packed our hospital bags, and just made sure we had everything ready for our son. That night on December 11th, we decided to stay at our friend's Billy's house and just hang out there for a little bit, and Dalton was gone for a long time. He didn't come home until around 11 p.m. and I was really upset about something. I think I was really worried and scared about the labor and delivery or something, I'm not sure. But we got into a big argument, and it ended up causing him to leave me at 2 o'clock the morning my son was born. But it was December 12th at 5 a.m. Dalton and I, we left for the hospital, and once we got there, I was immediately taken back to room 339 at Temple Scott and White. Dalton was tired, so he took a nap. We had stayed up most of the night, so it was expected. I was hooked up to a bunch of machines, and TMI, but they put a little balloon bulb in my vagina, which would cause, it would blow up and deflate to cause contractions, I guess. And they also put this little pill to help soften my cervix, since I was only 1 centimeter dilated. This stayed in until I was about 3 centimeters, and the balloon fell out on its own, which is what it's supposed to do. During that time, Dalton's parents stopped by, as well as my mom, brother, sister, and aunt. My contractions continued on their own, with me napping in between doctors checking, and at 4 centimeters, I was asked if I wanted the epidural. I said no. I was trying my best to make sure this was a natural birth, but I had been told that it was going to be hard, and I was expecting it to. I mean, there's a whole baby coming out of a really tiny hole, right? So I wanted to try it anyway. So I was attempting, and the issue was the doctors told me that since I was being induced, that it was going to be harder and it was going to be more intense pain. So I don't know if that's what it was or if I was just really weak and couldn't do it, but I did agree to getting the Demerol pain medicine through my IV because I was in tears, and after I got it I went straight to sleep. I received the Demerol one more time after that and had a lot of contractions during the few times I was awake. But a few hours later, around 3:30 p.m., I was 7 centimeters dilated and I was crying so bad. I couldn't stay still and looked like someone was performing an exorcism on me, so I got Demerol one more time, and they explained they couldn't give it to me again after 7 centimeters because it will make the baby drowsy. And they asked again if I wanted the epidural. Though I didn't want it so much, my mom and aunt talked me into receiving it because the whole reason I wasn't wanting to get it is I felt like I would feel stronger and more empowered and wouldn't take the chance on getting back pain afterwards and all sorts of stuff. But they talked me into believing, I'm still strong for just giving birth, even if I am on the pain medicine and etc. So at 3:42, I was almost 8 centimeters, and they began the epidural process. They had me sit on the edge of the bed, and my legs hanging off, and I was arched over. They told me to tell them when my contractions stopped, so that they could start, and I did. They prepped the needle, and I had a few contractions in between the times that they were trying to do the epidural, so they had to stop again, and then we had to restart. And so when they did get to put the needle in, I didn't feel it, but almost immediately my pain was gone. They gave me this little push button to release more anesthesia whenever I wanted or needed to. And I laid down. At 5:29 p.m. I was 9 centimeters. Through this time, I pressed the button a couple of times, and the doctors were amazed that I could still lift my legs on my own. Around 6:15, they came in and said that I would begin pushing in 30 minutes, but my mom had gone to the store and she wasn't back yet. She wasn't answering her phone when I kept calling her, so I was freaking out. At 6:42, the doctor came in and said it was time to have a baby. I was so scared because my mom wasn't there, and she was supposed to be in the room with me. I called her one last time, and she walked in right as it first rang. So I was really relieved at that moment, and the doctors had me put my legs up, and there were like 10 doctors and trainees in the room with me, as well as my mom and Dalton's. At 6:50, we began having me push, and my contractions, I could feel them again. I had let the epidural wear off a little bit so that it wasn't numbing me so much. I felt him come out, like I felt the pressure from it, and I didn't feel myself tear or anything, and it didn't hurt. It was actually really, really easy. The contractions were worse than him coming out. Overall, my labor was 13 hours, but when I was pushing, they had, when the contractions started, they would have me push for 10 long seconds, and then I would have to wait until my next contraction started. At 7:02, my wonderful son was born, and it was the best experience I have ever undergone. He was born 6 pounds, 14 ounces, and 20 inches long, which is a pretty good length for a 3-week early baby, I'd say. We named him Kyson Wayne Xavier Stith. Afterwards, when we were doing the hospital stay, we stayed for 2.5 days. We went home, and the next morning I had to go back in because we found out I did have preeclampsia, and I also had postpartum preeclampsia, which caused me to get fluid buildup in my lungs, and it was hard for me to breathe and all sorts of stuff, so I had to be monitored for a longer time. But other than that, everything was really good. And so that's my labor and delivery story. Thank you for watching, and I hope you click that subscribe button down below. And see ya.